All right, a little extra welding fabrication video for you guys for this week or next week or something. Squeeze in a little extra for you, but a little bracket repair, and it goes like that. But the problem is we're not making a new one, and they just want a quick little repair, but they want it to be 100% penetration, kind of, because I got to grind this weld off when it's done. But as you can see, crack like that. And then on the back, it'll be flat, which you can't really see. But that's got to be ground off too. So I got to tack it back on there. I'll show you my little way of doing it, I guess. So Chris Wojnarski is back again, and we'll show you our way of doing this, I guess. So if you're interested, tune along. Simple, it should be easy. I mean, can't really guarantee 100% penetration or that it'll hold up like indefinitely. It might break or not. Say that's what you just got to tell the customer, unless they want to remake the whole entire thing, which is the correct way to do it, but that's not what they want. Quick, simple little fix they want, and cheap. They always want cheap, right? So we'll bring you along for the journey. So what I did first was ground the paint off in my weld area. I would have liked to do the whole thing, just sandblast it all off, but that's not the case today because we don't want to clog up Gerald's sandblast cabinet over there. We really need another one for over here for stuff like this. So, but anyway, ground it off with a little Scotch-Brite pad thing. See if I can show you it. Brought it on the wire wheel, and I've used this little Scotch-Brite thing. One of these little things on this little grinder, and that works pretty good for like stripping paint. I think it's like a paint stripper wheel. So we're ready, prepped and ready to start welding, I guess. Now I do want to groove this out, but I want to tack it in place first while I have kind of my fitting somewhat like that, where I know it fits in place and I kind of know where it's got to go. If I bevel it out right now, it's going to be hard to get it exactly in place. So without having to bolt patterns or something. So what I'm going to do is take the trusty old fireball square, clamp it down to the table, clamp this down like that, and then match it up like that, and it's a 5/16 gap between here and here, and squeeze that in like that, clamp that down, and it should be hopefully good. And I'll just show you really fast why I guess I'm a fireball fanboy or whatever. Water tools just work. But I put this like that and was hoping that 1/4 inch would work, and I just had a little 1/4 inch piece. But it had a little bigger gap, and 3/8 won't work. 5/16, I don't have a 5/16 thing. So all I could do is just take a 1/4 inch shim and a 1/16 inch shim, and it was actually a 16th or 32nd under 5/16. I forgot about that. So 5/16 was a hair big, so I had a 32nd shim, and that brought it to exactly where it needs to be. So that's just why I like having the shims and the square. They just come in handy. Getting it clamped down and in place where I want it to be for now, pretty much. So I just clamped it down like that, and I think we're pretty good. Should be really, really close. If we have to, we told them we'll open up that bolt hole a little, and that was perfectly fine, because without having a match-up piece right here or template, we can't guarantee that that's exactly where it needs to go. So, but it's really, really close. So that's just what they know and to expect, but I think it should be good. If we need to, we'll just open that hole up a hair, and yeah. So I guess we'll fire up the old welder and start welding or tacking. Quick little rundown, nothing special. I just have it at 250 amps like I usually do. Number 2 is my aluminum setting, 125 hertz, 30% for the balance EP. Down slope or end amps 10, post flow 10.5, pre-flow 0.2, start amps 40, and that's it, and about 15 to 20 CFH. Got an 1/8 inch green CK Worldwide laser, the hybrid tungsten or whatever. I still got to tighten that down and sharpen it. For aluminum, I just like to run a standard cup. If I have a smaller torch, if I got to use the big air-cooled or bigger torch, I'd use a stubby gas lens, or you could buy the stubby kit, but I just like to shrink it down so the cup's not too long and I'm like arching my arm up too high, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put a couple tacks on here though, and then I'll put a couple tacks on the bottom, then I'll start grooving it out, and I'll probably draw a little template line like on the table or something, just so I have, make sure it doesn't tweak a little. And I don't know if I can really clamp it down when I'm welding. It should be fine, and we'll figure it out as we go along, but that's the plan so far. Giving it some good tacks right now. You kind of want to add a couple more dabs on this because I don't want it going anywhere when I'm welding it, so a couple extra dabs really helps. Okay, so that's our little tack, and just as I expected, this thing welds disgusting. There's like still powder coat in the thing or something, but good for now. I'm going to groove it out and probably weld one side. I'll probably groove out one side, weld that, keep some tacks on the back, and then after that's done, I'll groove out the back side and weld that, and then we'll grind it all down smooth. And here's my little tool I'm going to be using, and my little carbide burrs that I get. Haven't really used these ones yet, but these coarser ones are for aluminum. Usually we've got these fine ones, but the coarse ones like that for aluminum, and they should work pretty good. So just tighten that up in there, and we'll start going to town. I'll show you a little trick with this too. You use your tool, at least with the Milwaukee's, a normal one, you unloosen the thing, and it doesn't come off. You pop it, still doesn't come off. With the Milwaukee, you gotta take it an extra couple, like an extra loosen on it, and it just pops right out. It has like some extra thing in there, where the normal air ones, sometimes you just pop it a little and it comes right out. This one you gotta crank it loose, and just like that. And I noticed you don't even gotta tighten it super tight, just a little snug and pretty good. You definitely want to wear your safety shield with this, so just be careful. And it might be better to clamp that down. Sorry, I didn't really show you a video of me doing it, but I took it with the grinder wheel first and just gouged it out. Made a little groove in there with the cutting wheel, and I got at least halfway to 3/4 of the way through that, and I'll fill that up and then grind that flat, and then do the same thing on that side. And this stuff's not going to weld. I have a feeling it's not going to weld that clean. I don't know why that, once it's like powder coated, it just seems like it seeps into there. So we'll give it our best shot though. If worse comes to worse, we'll grind it back out and do it again. Wire brushing it can also help with that contamination, but pretty much just go slow and steady with this. Let that part heat up pretty good at first, and then start dabbing your wire in. And this thing is really hot. I mean, 200 amps and 250, you definitely don't need that. But you could tell like it was welding pretty good at first, and then as you've seen it suck that, you probably didn't see it, but suck that other side through, and that powder coat or whatever it was, like that base layer from that, and suck it through, and it just creates a little porosity in there. So it's fine. I went over it a little bit and let that cleaning action work and puddled it and everything, and I think we're pretty good. But it was getting hot. It was just sinking back down. So at a certain point, aluminum gets too hot where you just got to stop and let it cool down. So I'm not even going to attempt to do that side. I'm going to let that cool down, and we'll grind that, and then we'll weld that, and then we can grind it all down after. So it should be pretty good. Now with aluminum, I don't like to stick it in the water. Some people do. I don't know if it's safe or not to do that, so I'm not going to do it. But I sometimes take my little fan over there and put it on there, or air hose, and help cool it down if I'm in a rush. So I might just do that. My air hose actually worked pretty good. About a minute of that, and it cooled it down pretty good. But here's our weld. You can't really see. I just wanted to make sure to overfill it instead of making it below. I want to keep it up a little so I could grind it flat instead of concaving and grooving into the metal. So that's that. And then grind that little burr in there, and maybe up there too. And we'll weld that and grind that down. So you can actually see right there, went pretty good. I ground through more than halfway and reached into that other weld. Not really any porosity, but this side, you could see same thing. I ground through more than that weld, and you could see that porosity right there. So I ground down a little bit more, and that should hopefully be able to fuse that in and puddle it and get rid of that porosity a little bit. So just shows you right there, powder coating, not fun. Tripods, I don't know how much you could see me, but we used to do a lot of this powder coat work for this guy Sam, this gate operator or gate company, and he powder coat a lot of this stuff. And it was always a pain, some of the rework stuff that we had to do, all that powder coat and fence stuff, just pain grinding it off. But then sometimes you just have run into that problem where if it's not like ground down enough, or sometimes when you're grinding it off, like some of that coating off, sometimes it kind of glazes over and still stays in there, even though it looks like it's clean, it's not. And it just, you run into a problem with the porosity when you're welding. So you just got to do like extra steps to really get rid of it if you can. And it's just pain to work with sometimes, some stuff that's powder coated. So that's just my history with it. I'm sure people have better results. Back to welding, just go slow, kind of let that cleaning action kind of clean and suck out that porosity, and you'll see it as you're going along, just slow and steady. Kind of did a mistake I don't like to do. I like to keep this grounded to the table, and I don't like to ground through my clamps, because I feel like when you stick the ground on there, welding to a part, I feel like it puts all that heat in your springs and the pins and stuff, and it makes the clamps a lot harder to open over time. That's why I have a designated clamp over there that's painted green for ground, but I didn't use it this time, and I'm surprised I didn't clamp that down. I'm surprised it didn't arc out, which was a mistake, but I guess I get distracted when I'm making videos. But I think we're pretty good. I kind of overfilled it a lot, and before, I meant to tell you guys too, before I started welding on it, I put a tack, like I put a couple of tacks, after I grooved it out, I put more tacks on it, then I started welding again. I didn't just weld without tacking it, because otherwise it could shrink in a little bit more. But I think we got it pretty good. Hopefully we got all that porosity out and let it cool down, because it's really hot right now. Then I'll start grinding it and we'll go from there. Hopefully it's good enough. I was trying to make a short video. I'm not sure how long this is so far, but I feel like it's at least 10 minutes right now, so it might be 10-20 minutes. I feel like the right range for you guys is like a 10-15 minute video, but mine end up being like 20-30 minutes, so sorry about that. Let me know in the comments though if my videos are too long enough. Really try to start making them shorter, and just leave out some of that stuff like grinding, or just little stuff and details and extra stuff for you guys. I'm just not sure. Me, I like listening to longer stuff and the extra little snippets of stuff, but I'm not sure. I know people nowadays don't have as much of an attention span, so we'll see. Not saying that to you guys, but younger kids, I guess. I mean TikTok and all these shorts and stuff, really. Now on to grinding. I'm using the white rock grinding wheel that I use in a lot of videos, and then I'll clean it up with a flap disc after to clean off the heavy grooves and everything. That white rock really works good for deep aluminum or big aluminum. Our final result, I think that's pretty good. I mean, my grinding's not perfect, but after it's painted, it should be pretty good. Put that on the table, nice and flat, and hopefully that looks pretty good like that. I forgot to draw a little measurement, but I don't think it really moved at all. Worst comes to worst, we just slot that hole a little bit, but he already knows that. So I'm going to be the nice guy and go one step further and put a little coat of paint on it and make it look really pretty, right? But looks pretty good, so I'll put a coat of paint on that and clean up my stuff, and that's it. Got a little primer on it for now and straighten up this stuff. But this thing worked awesome. This is my first time using this one. Got these on Amazon, this 4-piece set. They're just anything, carbide burrs, and then these would be coarse ones or for aluminum, and then the finer ones would be for stainless. But they were like 30 bucks, because if you buy like the professional ones, the like really good ones, they're like 100 bucks, and these things have really good reviews for the price. You can't beat it at all. So good tool for you guys. So I just switched it out, just kept this one back in there and put that stuff away so no one ruins it on me. But I think the biggest thing to make those last longer is use those only for like soft stuff like aluminum, maybe brass or something, and these ones for steel or stainless, and try not to cross-contaminate it or whatever. But I think that'll make them last a lot longer, because if you do aluminum with these ones, they'll gunk up a lot and kind of ruin those fast. So, and probably the same thing with that. If you do stainless with that, it might wear them out faster. So we got one coat of black on there, and I'll probably do one more, and that should be good. All cleaned up, swept up. Same thing over there. Nice and clean, ready for the next project, and we'll finish that. We're like a super clean freak where the area had to be super clean when it was all done, but now with this new table, once we stopped grinding over here and started grinding over there instead, and it's not all dusty over here, just nice and clean. It's just I appreciate it every time I finish and I clean up. It just looks good to me. Not all dusty, no splinters anywhere. Put your clamps back good and just looks neat. Just something I appreciate doing, and I know I say that a lot in probably every video, but I guess I'm proud of it, or myself, for doing it. So let's check on our piece though. Yeah, here's my thing. No grinding on tables, sanding, drilling. Thank you. If you need to, just walk 10 feet over there. But I think this is still a little tacky, but good enough to handle. Get you guys some snippets and take a couple pictures, and I could put it in the office, let it cool down in there, and ready to be picked up. Still a little tacky, so I don't really want to handle it too much, but I think that came out pretty good. Paint job's not the best, but not the worst, but it'll be good for what that is. And they didn't want to spend too much money, but I think we're good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little thing. Simple, easy, effective. Yep. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was a little easier for me to video, and I don't think I'll really do much editing on that. So hopefully I'll be able to just pop that right out. Still have to put it in a little editor format, like a CapCut thing that I use, and just load it all up in there and download it or whatever, and then load it up into YouTube, pump that thing out. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that though. If you do, let me know and I'll make a couple more like that. I tried to, but some of my other stuff that I gotta edit, that's a little longer and stuff, it takes me a little while and just backed up. I got like 30 videos or more. So let me know if you like these. I tried pumping one more of these out. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week, but at least one. So that's my current pace or whatever. Enough rambling, but don't forget hit the subscribe button. Trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost at 750 right now. I think 742 and at the time of this video, so we'll see. But subscribe if you're not. If you like the videos, give it a thumbs up and comment and share, and see you guys on the next one. Chris Wojnarski, over and out. Here's my friend Bugs. What's up, buddy? He hangs out with us in the back over here in the back. So he's my little buddy. I think he's been around for a couple years. That's the little one. There's a bigger one. But what's up, Bugs?